Welcome to Action Research Multimedia presentation by Brittany Massey. The problem statement for the Action Research Plan is students lack motivation to complete work in the classroom and lose focus on the task at hand. Students are not taught proper strategies to help remain focused or stay on task. With implementing stable strategies to maintain or regain focus will allow the students to complete work efficiently in the classroom. These statement core values are morals I believe are very important to implement into a classroom while teaching. There are 3 core values I have highlighted for the Action Research Plan. These values include a focus on physical activity, self-awareness, and student learning. I value the idea of being physically active every day. Students do not always have these opportunities, especially if DPA is not practiced. Using simple meditation or yoga methods can allow students to enjoy living a healthy lifestyle. I value being aware of your entire body as a whole and knowing where your body is in relation to the environment around you. I value students being responsible for their own learning and knowing where to guide their focus to when necessary. Statement of research problem. Students spend a significant amount of time each day at school where they are asked to listen and focus for extended periods of time. While focusing on academia, students are constantly being taught the importance of life skills and how to function as a being in society. With students moving through the curriculum and following along with each lesson throughout the day, I'm concerned about students losing focus in class and becoming uninterested in their learning. In a larger school, it is often difficult to have a gymnasium for a full period of physical education, but this does not mean that students should be missing out on physical activity. I believe that students are not given enough grace period or taught specific strategies to help remain focused or stay on task. Rather than students coping with losing focus, they distract others in their class, causing them to lose focus as well. Research question. The research question for this Action Research Plan is how will implementing meditation or yoga practices improve focus in student learning? Yoga is a discipline practice a part of which, including breath control, simple meditation, and the adoption of specific bodily postures, is widely practiced for health and relaxation. According to the feedback provided, no other definitions were deemed necessary in regards to this research question. Literature summary: student motivation in relation to classroom structure. According to Skinner and Belmont, 1993, studied the reciprocal effect of teacher behavior and student engagement. Educators and parents value motivation in school for its own sake as well as for its long-term contribution to children's learning and self-esteem. Throughout this paper, motivation is discussed through the vision of optimal structure. First, the model specifies that children's needs for competence is fostered when they experience their classrooms in optimal structure. Structure refers to the amount of information in the context about how to effectively achieve desired outcomes. Its opposite is chaos. It is believed that student motivation is based on the student behavior in the classroom. Participants in the study were 144 children, equally divided by sex and grades 3, 4, and 5. And there are 14 female teachers from a rural suburban school district in upstate New York. Children ranged in ages from 8 years to 12 years. Questionnaires were administered to students by trained interviewers during 3 40-minute sessions in their normal classrooms. In general, teachers completed their questionnaires while the students were being tested. Results show that teacher provision, support, and optimal structure predicted students' motivation across the school year. If teachers are able to implement structured meditation or yoga practices that students can use at the appropriate time during a school day, students can use these practices to regain or remain focused on the task given to them. If students have difficulty staying on task, they can use these practices rather than disrupting the class, allowing the teacher to optimize their time with other students who need additional support. Literature summary: importance of implementing yoga-based programs. DeRodas et al. Discovered that implementing yoga practices into a lower income school resulted in benefits of multiple domains, including promotion of psychological, cognitive, physical, and behavioral health. The yoga program that was implemented was based on body movements and breathing to promote mindfulness. Students suggested yoga should be implemented at least once a week during a resource period. Diriotis et al. Suggests that yoga is an aesthetic discipline, a part of which including breath control, simple meditation, and the adoption of specific bodily postures is widely practiced for health and relaxation. Important factors of implementing yoga-based programs are program delivery factors, program buy-in, implementer communication with teachers, and instructor qualities. Through practice discipline, students can engage in simple practices that foster meditation to regain focus. Literature summary, benefits of yoga-based programs in schools. In a study conducted by Butzer et al., this controlled pilot study examined the effects of a classroom-based yoga intervention on cortisol concentrations and perceived behavior in children. A 10-week yoga program in 4 classrooms intervention was implemented in 1 second on 1 and 1 third grade classroom. Students' salivary cortisol responses were assessed at 3 time points. Classroom teachers also documented their perceptions of the effects of the intervention on students' cognitive, social, and emotional skills. Yoga interventions exerted positive effects on factors such as emotional balance, attention control, cognitive efficiency, anxiety, negative thought patterns, emotional and physical arousal, reactivity, and negative behavior. Yoga can be a standard practice that teaches students the life skills and how to be individuals in society. Students can also learn how to cope with stress and anxiety through yoga meditation and breathing practices. Butzer et al. Suggest that school-based yoga may be advantageous for stress management and behavior. By eliminating external stresses and distractions, students will be able to remain focused or use effective strategies to return to tasks when ready. My research plan. Data sources that I've come up with are anecdotal records, self-assessment, and questionnaires. The first one I'm going to discuss are anecdotal records. This is a qualitative analysis, records based on how implementation is going, records on individual improvement of each participant. Recording will be based on participant progress and use of meditation and yoga practices. Teachers and principals will be responsible of taking anecdotal records daily for the duration of the 4-week program. Teachers will be given a binder with blank tables to record anecdotal notes. Teachers will specify the participants by name when taking anecdotal notes. Principals will be given the same table to track date and progress of this program. Data sources self-assessment. This is also a qualitative analysis where individual assessment is to set goals and improve yoga exercises, and meditation practices. Students will self-assess their actual yoga exercises and practices. Teachers can self-assess their teaching of these practices. There will be a midway evaluation at 2 weeks into the program and another self-assessment evaluation at the end of the 4-week program to show the progress and the improvement from the set goals before. Teachers will self-assess their programs of facilitation at the 2-week mark as well as the 4-week mark. Self-assessment will be a series of questions related to progress and improvement of the program. Participants and teachers will set goals at the midway evaluation and see if their goals were met with the following assessment at the end of the program. Questionnaire is the final data source that will be used for this action research plan, and questionnaire is a mixed method of both qualitative and quantitative analysis. Participant teachers and principals will complete a questionnaire of multiple choice questions based on the 4-week program. There will also be a section to include input about the program and suggestions for improvement. Teachers and principals will be given a different questionnaire than the participants based on the facilitation and implementation of the program. Triangulation, validity, and reliability. Triangulation facilitates validation of data through crossing 2 or more data sources. Using more than one source to collect data on the same topic ensures validity of research throughout the duration of the implemented program. With effective information from more than one source will ensure how effective the program is in helping students stay motivated to complete in-class work. These data sources are reliable in nature because 2 of the 3 resources allow for participation input for the program. This will determine individual point of views of what they think the yoga exercises and meditation practices and their effects on motivation. By having a triangulation of data from all 3 sources, this program can continue to grow and improve using the data provided by the participants and the implementers of the program. Participants and setting. Throughout this study, students, teachers, and principals will be involved. Teachers will be led through a class to teach them about specific yoga practices they can use with their students in the classroom. Completing the class, teachers will return to their schools and lead their students through the same yoga-based program. Students will be participants of the program from 3 separate schools. These students will practice the yoga exercises and meditation practices in their own classrooms. The principals of these schools will take the time to check in with teachers and evaluate how the program is running throughout the 4 weeks. Data will be collected in a binder provided by the program. Teachers and principals will keep track in the binder and collect self-assessments from the students to also keep record in the binder. My research plan, the timeline chart. There are 3 types of data sources that will be used throughout the 4-week program: anecdotal records, self-assessment, and questionnaire. Anecdotal notes will be taken daily throughout the entire time the program is implemented. Anecdotal records will be documented on the success and improvements of all participants involved in the program. Self-assessment will occur twice throughout the program. There will be a midway evaluation 2 weeks into the program. During the self-assessment, participants will assess their success to this point and will set goals for the duration of the program. At the end of the program, the participants will self-assess their progress for the entire program. The final data source for the program is a questionnaire. The final assessment will occur at the end of the program, discussing how the program went, if expectations were met, and how to improve for future programs. There are many ethical considerations that factor into implementing a yoga-based program. Prior to implementation of program, students will sign confidentiality agreements if they choose to participate in the study. Students can opt out of the participation in study at any time during the 4 weeks. In order for the student to do so, they will have a discussion with their teacher, and the teacher will document it in the binder. Students will still be introduced to strategies in a full classroom setting, but do not have to participate in the study. Teacher will only assess students who choose to participate in the study. Additional ethical considerations are: only students participating will have to complete self-assessments and questionnaires. All student assessment will be kept in a binder safely stored in the classroom. Only other person to have access to the data throughout the program will be the principal of the school along with the participants, and students can ask about their progress at any time throughout the program. Closure, support knowledge of teaching. Looking at many positive effects of implementing a yoga-based program, I believe with the support of my knowledge of teaching, this program will be effective in motivating students to stay on task and remain focused. I believe implementing physical activity throughout different modes of exercise, including yoga or meditation practices, will reach the entire student population in correspondence to their interests. I believe using effective classroom space to ensure students are being physically active and taking frequent breaks or allowing students to choose when to break to help students stay on task will be effective in the overall structure of the classroom. These are the resources I used throughout the Action Research Plan. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it.